Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another book for college. This one's called The Naked Roommate and 107 Other Issues You Might Run Into in College by Harlan Cohen. This is a really good book. It's a lot bigger than the one I covered last time, which was for girls. And this one is for males and females, so it covers stuff for guys and covers stuff for girls. A lot of the stuff in these books is more towards females, but this is stuff from guys' perspectives as well. It is a New York Times bestseller, and I do see it a lot on bookshelves when college is about to start. There is also a parent version, which I have as well, and I will do a quick overview on. My mom looked into it, and it was it had some interesting things that she had not thought of before. It pretty much covers the same things as this book, except from the parent perspective, so parent worries and such things like that. There's expert and student advice within the book. It has things on roommates, relationships, classes, friends and finances, dorm life, sex, no sex, alcohol, Greek life, laundry, and everything else that really matters in college. So this book really does cover everything you need to know about college. And as you can see, it is a lot bigger than the last one. The last one was only a couple hundred pages, and the pages were of a thicker paper. This is much more like dictionary paper. It's a lot thinner. So while the last book was more about protecting yourself and self-defense and stuff, this covers more of the general college experience. So one of the first things it starts off with, tip number 1, is expect the unexpected. And it starts with don't create too many expectations. So it talks about, the whole stigma and the whole idea of what college is, and explains how it's not necessarily going to be what you see in the movies. You're not going to be going to a party every night, and you're not going to necessarily leave high school with your boyfriend and remain with your boyfriend forever, which is the first story which is covered. And then it's got a little bit of facts and figures on the side about what you expect versus what you actually get. So you go into college thinking it's going to be really hard. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're extremely wrong. And it is, all the information, this particular section is by Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA. So the information in the book isn't just random stuff. It is, actually proven facts and figures. Each chapter ends with a bottom line paragraph, and that pretty much just sums up the entire chapter. Reminds you of what the entire chapter is saying, but what the bottom line is. So even if they point out different points of views, what the final idea is that they're trying to give you. There's chapters, while there's the good stuff, it also talks about the ugly side of residential life. There's also the ugly side of roommates. There's entire chapters dedicated to, the roommate from hell, and, what you can do to resolve the situation when your roommate doesn't clean, when your roommate decides to, kick you out all the time to do their own little activities, and how, what this is like, experiences from other students, as well as what you can do to fix this type of stuff, whether it be yourself or talking to an RA about the roommate situation. In this book is also a massive section dedicated to dating and relationships, because that's obviously on a lot of people's mind when they're in university. It's got information from just being in a relationship and, the signs of what it would be like, in university. As people, you're going to be encountering people who are in their 20s, and you may only be 18 years old, especially coming in as a freshman. It's got information, as it clearly says here, love, lust, and loss. There's an entire section about having sex and saying yes to having sex, and then not having sex, and why you would want to. And it does present the pros and the cons of all these type of situations. And it gives you the right directions on how to play it safe and all those type of things. Once again, this book does have an entire section dedicated to who you can call with in any case of sexual assault. It tells you where you can go on campus, and also a bunch of websites and places you can go to if you need outside help, something beyond what your university can offer. There is also an entire section dedicated for finances. I wish I knew about this beforehand. I mean, I got this book at the end of my senior year, so I had this kind of after the fact. But there's an entire little section, with information on loan resources and information. Tells you who to go to, where you can go once you're in university, and such information like that. And one of the final sections in the book is things not mentioned in the college brochure. When you visit a college, they're going to make themselves look amazing, so there's many things they're not going to tell you. And so this covers things that you don't really think about, such as, your mental state when you have a massive 12-page paper due the next day that you completely forgot about because of your other 15-page paper that you wrote the night before. So these type of things are covered in the book. Things that, aren't covered and mentioned in the brochure, such as, food, that, all cafeterias say their food's amazing. Most of the time that's not completely true. And, what you can do to fix these types of situations, who you can go to see, and, how to deal with such types of things. Overall, I think this book is fantastic. It does cover everything you need to know, whether it be from your mental state to things you thought you would need to know, to just roommate stuff. You would never think that you need to know stuff about your roommate from hell, but when you're in university, you find some interesting stories about those roommates from hell, and you think, yo, you're so lucky, but you might not be that lucky one. And so just knowing what to do and how to resolve these situations is always extremely important. I do highly recommend this book. As I said, there is an adult version of this, which is pretty much the same stuff, but from the adult perspective. So, being an example from a difference, maybe instead of it talking about whether or not to have sex, the parent version maybe, what to do in case of pregnancy. Or for son, what in case the girl, he messed around with became pregnant. Something like that, just as an example. If your kid seems depressed, what signs to watch out for. So I highly do recommend this book. It's great to have, even if, you are already in college and, you're years into college. There's things in here that you may never have thought about and are just useful to know. So I do recommend checking this out before you head to university, because, you never know, you may need to open it up one day at university when something goes terribly wrong. Hopefully it won't. And to all those college students out there, good luck to you. You're going to have so much fun, and I really would check this book out because it potentially could save your freshman or sophomore, whatever year you're in. It could potentially just save you your year. Enjoy. See ya. Bye.